I'm almost 40 years old, and I think it's safe to say that last year, in the second half of last year, I think the Leafs hit rock bottom. I don't think that I've ever seen.
You know what? I disagree with you. I think that the worst I ever saw the Leafs. I disagree. Last year was fuck off. You know what? When the Leafs hit rock bottom is when they were in Game 7 against the Boston Bruins.
Yeah.
And they had that game won.
Yeah, they were up 4-1.
They lost it. Got thrown out. That's rock bottom.
Well, the only thing is
last year's season was inconsequential because I already expected them with the usual suspects for them to repeat.
Well,
and they did it.
Went from a decent season, the fans basically
the fucking hell.
See the team being booed, seeing like fans cheering for other teams to score goals. That's the cynicism that develops in a fan, and you know that, right? Yeah.
It gets to the point where you're so upset, right?
Yeah.
That you're basically punishing yourself. So a Leaf fan cheering on the other team when they score goals, that's jeering. It's like in Italy or in Europe when they whistle. Here when somebody whistles in the fans, that means that they love you. Over there, they're jeering at you.
Right. I felt like, the situation you were talking about, Game 7 against Boston, that might have been the most crushing defeat for a Leaf fan.
I think that proved it.
The reason I say rock bottom is because just the complacency of the players, the negativity that the players had.
When you go lose a game like that, which almost kind of reminded me of the Team Canada, Team USA tournament in Montreal with Curtis Joseph in net for Team Canada. And in the other net was one of my favorite goalies of all time, Mike Richter.
Mike Richter, yeah, 96, the World Cup, yep.
Yeah, I was there. I was right behind the net, and Claude Lemieux coughed up the fucking puck.
Mm-hmm.
And the Canadians had that one. I'm just telling you is, I think that the Leafs just when they scored that first goal. Everybody should have, timeout, said nothing happened. They sat on their laurels, they got tied, and then they lost in overtime. And I think that the team hit rock bottom. And then last year, this season that just went by, they basically maintained the same people.
Well,
I would have fired the coach for that, but,
Well, Carlisle was, I think a lot of people were surprised he got a one-year extension after that.
Yeah, I would have fired coach because he's the guy running the ice, and that line that was on there, and there was shit. They would have, you had to do something. Like you have to settle everybody down. You have to.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to definitely look.
Anyways, it's no use dwelling on stuff. Like Billy said, it's over. But I'm just telling you that in my modest view, Eric, that's when they hit rock bottom. Because that was the same team that was on the ice last year, and they were so
they were a shell
bipolar in their way of playing. And one game they were disciplined, a well-oiled team, and then another time they looked like a novice team or a pickup game.
Yeah, I mean last year under Peter Horacek, I mean you really couldn't have. Looked any
But Peter Horacek, poor bastard, and a defense to him, right? He took over the team and he tried to change them in mid-season, and you can't do that. That's suicide.
That didn't work at all.
But that's suicide. You can't. You can't. It's you just can't. It's like telling a boxer who's fought all his life and he doesn't have enough training to go into the next fight and tell him to go southpaw. He's got to get the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah, you're right. And, you're not going to get that now with Babcock, whatever he tells the team.
Listen, Babcock had 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and you I guarantee you'll remember, they criticized Detroit as having an old team, and they weren't going to go nowhere. Babcock made the fucking playoffs every year.
Yeah, he did. 23 straight years in Detroit, they made the playoffs.
Yeah, but he is the real deal, and he knows how to get the best out of his players, and the players respect him, and the players really want to do well for Babcock.
You know what?
And when you have a bunch of players, that are disgruntled with the coach. They're not going to buy into any of the shit he's saying, right? And then you're fucked. You got total anarchy going on, mutiny. And some nights it seemed like there was total mutiny. And I would say, to me, in the way I read it, the mutiny was not the team against Randy Carlyle. It was Randy Carlyle against the team. You follow what I'm saying?
You're saying that Carlisle was the cause.
He just almost tried to disassociate himself. Look, you got a fucking a goalie who's really struggling, and he's the only guy you can count on because your other goalie, the other starter goalie, just pulled the groin and he's hurt and he ain't going to be playing for you. Mm-hmm. You need to do everything in your life to be a motivational speaker for him and to pump him up, not criticize him.
Yeah, a lot of people look back at that game in Detroit.
Oh, fuck. I think that he was the mutiny. He created, and Reimer is a very well-liked guy, so a lot of the guys in the dressing room really liked him. Mm-hmm. They still do.
Team guy, absolutely.
Great human being. And his own coach. Randy, how do you think, that was when they tied or they won, or how do you think Reimer played?
They lost to Detroit 3-2, and Randy was asked about Reimer's game and his
he said he played, this was his attitude. He had that sneer, that fucking, and he goes, hey, I don't know.
Yeah, it was okay, just okay.
No, he said, put down okay. So just like you don't know your score when you're golfing, put me down for 5.
Right.
So infuriated me. Can you imagine your goalie who's struggling? It's fucking a tough thing when you lose your confidence as a goalie. Very tough.